Hi, Ms. Eglin here. In this video, I wanted to review some of the vocabulary and the literary reading focus for An Unforgettable Journey by Mizui Seong. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. So I am on pages 30 to 31, and this is the preparing to read section. And it says, what do you think? Whom would you rely on if you were forced to leave your homeland and adapt to a new culture? So what would you miss? What do you think would be hard? Would, it be hard to not know the language, not be around what you're used to? Think about that. And for the quick write, think of real life situations that force people to rely on others. Jot down what happened in one particular situation you've heard of or read about, or maybe you even experienced it on a vacation, or if you were with friends in a new situation. What was it like when you had, if you didn't know where you were and you had to rely on other people? Do you think it would be easy? And the literary focus for this selection is autobiography, which is the story of a person's life written by that person. Now, we know a biography is a person's life told by another person. In An Unforgettable Journey, Mizui Seong tells what happened when her life changed forever. She and her family found themselves without a home or country. Reading focus. Chronological order. Okay, writers use chronological order when they put events in the sequence or order in which they happened. When you read a narrative text, so again, she's telling the story of her life, you want to look for transitional words and phrases such as first, next, then, and at last to figure out the order in which events occur. Okay, into action. Use a timeline to record the order of events from the time Mizui Seong's family fled Laos until they arrived in California. Your timeline will be in chronological order, organized by time. Tech focus. As you keep track of events, think about the tone of your voice you would use if you were to tell them out loud. Okay, so let's look at this vocabulary. Refuge. It's a noun. It's a place of safety. Seong found refuge from war in the United States. Transition. This is a noun, change, passing from one condition to another. The transition to life in the United States from life in Laos required many changes. Persecution. Noun. An act of attacking others because of their beliefs or their ethnic background. Some Hmong face persecution. Deprivation. Noun. Condition of not having something essential. They suffered from food deprivation. Okay, language coach, suffix. The suffix tion means being, the result of. When this suffix is added to a familiar term, you can figure out the meaning of the new word. The vocabulary word deprivation means being deprived. How does knowing this suffix help you understand the meaning of relocation? Okay, so the skills focus. The literary skills are to understand the forms of prose, autobiography. So you should know this is a form of nonfiction. This is not fake. This is a true story. Reading skills, identify and understand chronological organization and order. Okay, so then I have read the story in another video. Okay, so this is the story. And at the end, there's an applying your skills, some respond and think critically. So here's some, a quick check to see if you understood the selection. So explain 3 important events Seong faced during her family's escape. How did Seong feel about school when she first arrived in the United States? Read with a purpose. What did you learn about the experience of leaving one's homeland? So what did you learn from her experience? And reading skills, chronological order. And you're going to be doing a timeline. Review your timeline that you have done and be sure you have included only the main events. What have you learned about the way chronological order works in stories? So again, this is when she's born, when her family leaves Laos, what happens next and what happens after that. Literary focus, analysis, interpret. How does the understatement made by Seong's parents, "nothing comes easy," apply to this selection? So an understatement would mean that they were not really exaggerating what they went through, that they went through something that, some people did not survive. And they were just like, nothing comes easy. They didn't say it's life or death. So how do you think that applies to this selection? Autobiography. Analyze, what insights do you find when reading an autobiography that you might not discover in other forms of prose? So what's different about her telling her own story? What does she know that if you were writing a biography, somebody may not know? Evaluate. Seong describes experiences she had when she was only 3 years old. People often do not remember events that occurred at such a young age. Why do you think her memories are so vivid? Literary skills review, first-person point of view. Autobiographies are told from the first-person point of view. In this point of view, we only know what the author decides to tell us. The writer speaks as I, using the first-person pronoun. Okay, third person would be he, she, they. Analyze. How would your interpretation of these events be different if they had been relayed by someone who was not Hmong? Okay, so if you were not from this part of the world, would you have understood, maybe the foods they eat, the geography, what they were going through? Okay, and then they're comparing this, an event diagram about journeys you have heard of. What's the same, and then what's different about her journey? Okay, what do you think now? So now that after you have read the selection, could Seong's family have made this journey without getting help along the way? Explain. So think about, what if, they did not have that money to pay the boatman? What if they didn't have the step uncle in the States? What if the dad hadn't been in the military? So what, if those things wouldn't have happened, would they have made it? Okay, so I'm going to go to the next page here. And I don't want to go over all of this, but here they're talking about the contrast clues. Okay, and these are context clues, but these are telling something that is different. Okay, and again, there's signal words here, although, but, yet, still, unlike, not, in contrast, instead, however, and then you can plug that in, and then they're talking about, the suffix tion. And again, prefixes help you to also know words. And then here we're talking about pronoun usage, and using inexact pronoun references is a common mistake and could cause misunderstandings. So again, you never want to use a pronoun without its antecedent. So you just don't want to start telling a story like, well, she's going to the mall. Who's she? You have to use the name first before you start using the pronouns. So you have to use the proper noun or noun first before you start using the pronouns, or people will not know, basically what you're talking about. Okay, so thanks for listening, and I hope you like this selection, and please let me know if you have any questions down below in the comments. And please, as always, subscribe and hit the thumbs up if you like this video. Thanks for watching.